You know how we often take our planet for granted? We complain about the scorching summers and the freezing winters, and we fret about the occasional natural disasters. But truth be told, Earth is quite a comfortable home for us. It has just the right conditions to sustain life, and there's no other place in the solar system that can house us the way Earth does. However, this hasn't stopped the curious minds of astronomers and scientists from venturing out into the cosmos, in search of other planets that could potentially harbor life.
Looks like I'm getting the better part of the deal here, Frank.
It's like house hunting on a cosmic scale. And guess what? They've found some promising prospects. Recently, a group of researchers has found not just one, but a whopping 24 planets that could potentially house a civilization just like ours. And here's the kicker. They even said, these planets are better than Earth. It's like finding a house with more rooms, a bigger yard, and a better view, only on a planetary scale. Now, we might not be able to pack up and move to these planets quite yet, but hey, there's no harm in window shopping, right? This exciting research was conducted by a brilliant team at Washington State University. They scoured the cosmos and located 24 planets outside of our solar system that are not only Earth-like, but are actually superior to Earth in some significant ways. Now, it's important to clarify that the researchers weren't actually looking for extraterrestrial life itself. Instead, they were searching for planets that could potentially be a good home for life. The list of planets they found includes some that are larger than ours, warmer, or even wetter. Another way to get on the list is to be a planet that orbits around a star that has a longer lifespan than our Sun. As you can imagine, all of these factors combined could create a planet that any human would be thrilled to call home. To compile this list, the researchers had to create a set of criteria to determine what makes a planet super-habitable. A super-habitable planet is one that could potentially foster a civilization like ours, and might even do a better job than Earth. They started with what we know about Earth and its conditions that support life, and then they looked for planets that meet these criteria, but with a bit of wiggle room for differences. Planets that are rocky and orbit within their host star's habitable zone were considered. The habitable zone, also known as the Goldilocks zone, is the area surrounding a star that allows liquid water to exist. It's not too hot, not too cold, but just right. After setting Earth as the basis for their search, they began looking for a specific type of star. Our star, the Sun, is considered a G-type star. It's been around for about 4.6 billion years and will last for about 5.6 billion more. That might seem like a long time to us, but in the grand scheme of things, there are many other stars that last a lot longer than that. K-type stars, for example, are orange dwarf stars that have a lifespan of between 20 billion and 70 billion years. A K-type star is far greater for life because it gives organisms much more time to develop and grow. When the researchers began hunting for planets that could be better than Earth, they looked for stars that could last longer. They also tried to find planets that were about 5 to 8 billion years old and up to 1.5 times larger than our planet. When it came to temperature, they allowed a leeway of about 5 degrees warmer, with an atmosphere of about 30% oxygen. Any hospitable planet would need a lot of land and a lot of water too. It would also need a substantial moon that is about 1 to 10% the size of the planet. As the team began to narrow down what made a planet so special, the number of candidates began to drop. It's important to remember that the list of possible super-habitable planets started with more than 45,000 known exoplanets in the Milky Way. After all the work and qualifications, it was narrowed down to a group of just 24. Of all the 24 planets, none of them actually checked off every box on the super-habitable list. That's mostly because of missing data about moons, lands, plate tectonics, and more. But despite that, scientists did find one prime planet that they feel is the MVP, or most valuable planet. So, which planet earned the lucky honors of being better than Earth when it comes to being hospitable? That's a question for the next chapter of this cosmic adventure. Let's talk about this planet that's been causing quite a buzz, KIC 9832379. It's about 1.8 times bigger than Earth and only 5.5 billion years old. The planet orbits around a K-type star known as COI 5715 and was discovered by the Kepler Space Telescope in a star field within the Cygnus constellation. With all these attributes, it seems like KC 9832379 would make a pretty awesome home for a variety of organisms. But there's a catch. It's about 2,964 light-years away from us. Now you might be wondering, why bother finding these planets if we'll never get to visit them? What's the point of all this research? Well, it turns out that this list of super-hospitable planets is like a to-do list for future powerful telescopes that are being created and going online in the next few years. These include NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, the European Space Agency's Plato Space Telescope, and NASA's Louvois Space Observatory. The researchers at Washington State University saw these planets as targets for these new telescopes, kind of like giving them a roadmap of deep space locations to focus on. As Dirk Schultz-Makuch, the geobiologist and professor with Washington State University who led the study, said, "With the next space telescopes coming up, we will get more information, so it is important to select some targets." For years, people have fantasized about an Earth 2.0, a planet like ours that could become our new home if things went south here. But the reality is, the chances of us finding a planet we can actually travel to is pretty slim. The team at Washington State University knows this. Their research wasn't about finding a new home for us Earthlings, but rather about proving that as special as Earth is, it might not be the best place in the universe for life. In fact, when the research was completed, Earth ranked 25th on the list of super-habitable planets. So while we might love our home planet, we can't exactly claim it's the best in the universe. There are at least 24 other planets that could potentially offer a more comfortable and healthier home. The only problem is, they're all out of our reach. You know, there's a planet named KIC 9832379 that's been grabbing a lot of attention lately. Picture this, a planet that's almost twice as big as Earth, orbiting a K-type star known as KOI 5715. It's only 5.5 billion years old, and it was discovered by the Kepler Space Telescope in a star field within the Cygnus constellation. Sounds like a place where life could thrive, right? But here's the kicker. It's nearly 3,000 light-years away from us. Now, you might be thinking, why are we even bothering to find these far-off planets if we can't even visit them? Well, that's a great question. The thing is, this list of super-habitable planets serves a very important purpose. It's like a cosmic bucket list for the powerful telescopes that are being developed and will be online in the next few years. These include NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, the European Space Agency's Plato Space Telescope, and NASA's Louvois Space Observatory. These new telescopes will have the ability to peer deeper into space than we've ever been able to before. And this list of planets, they're like the perfect set of targets for these telescopes to focus on. Dirk Schultz-Makuch, the geobiologist and professor who led the study at Washington State University, said that with the upcoming space telescopes, we'll be able to gather more information, so it's crucial to have some targets in mind. For a long time, people have been dreaming about an Earth 2.0, a planet similar to ours that could potentially become our new home if things go downhill here. But the harsh reality is that the chances of us finding a planet we can actually travel to are pretty slim. The team at Washington State University is aware of this. Their research wasn't about finding a new home for humans. Rather, they were trying to prove that Earth, as special as it is, might not be the best place in the universe for life. When their research was completed, Earth ranked 25th on the list of super-habitable planets. So, while we might love our home planet, it seems there are at least 24 other planets that could potentially offer a better living environment. The only issue is, they're all light years away from us. But don't lose heart. We're still in the early stages of understanding the universe we live in. NASA's newest telescope, James Webb, is set to delve deeper into the cosmos than we've ever seen before. But don't be disheartened. We're still learning so much about the universe we live in, and NASA's newest telescope, James Webb, is set to delve deeper into the cosmos than we've ever seen before. So who knows what mind-blowing discoveries await us? Let's stay tuned and see where this cosmic journey takes us. If you enjoy our content and would like to stay updated, we'd be thrilled if you could hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. Thanks for your support.